Dear Buffalo Bills, what the hell was that? Let's go. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Bronsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah! This is for my honey Jody, who is feeling ill this morning. She is at home, and I need everyone in the audience to do me a favor. Keep her in your prayers as we try to figure out what's going on. And I can't wait to see my honey back on her feet, moving around. But she is feeling ill. She started feeling ill yesterday. And like I said, she's home today. She's going to get a COVID test, and let's pray that it's not COVID that she has. Love you, Jody, very much. That's for you. With all that, good morning. Welcome to the late starting Taco Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. I overslept, had to fly to get my daughter, came home late, had a little breakfast, checked on my wife. We're here. It's time to roll. But let me go into the Fanatics feedback zone. We got to go a little bit off schedule. Danny Fuller was the first one in on our YouTube page. Good morning to you. Rapid Dave, one of my beer bros, is in the house this morning. Good morning to you. Danny Fuller greets Rapid Dave. And of course, Victor Law, a.k.a. Victor Locke from my hometown of Chicago, says, now from the members of Hooked on Moronics, we have Hooked on Moronics. Before you get drafted by the Moronic Republic, gallop, don't walk, to pick up Hooked on Moronics. Call 1-800-DEM-BOYS. Good Lord. He sent me that commercial, and I laughed my head off. McDermott is gone as far as I'm concerned. Just a pathetic performance. We will definitely get into that. Making some adjustments with my camera here, so stand by. We would definitely get into that. Cole have a take today. He's doing total football talk now. Right now. Rapid Dave, Jody and I, when we start our stadium tour, will come visit you, and we got to do a show together, because when I was on with them, we were previewing 49ers Cowboys. It was an absolute blast. Speaking of the stadium tour, y'all do me a favor. Let's make this hashtag trend, and let's get some donations via Cash App for this. There is a GoFundMe I'm going to put together for the Snowman Stadium Tour. I will launch that the week of Thanksgiving. Be on the lookout for it. My goal is to see every stadium in the country, cover a game at every stadium in the country, college and pro, and raise a lot of money, not just for my family to get back on their feet, but also for anyone that is having a hard time with cancer, whether you have it, whether you're fighting it, whether you fought it and won, any of that, because I want to make a chunk donation to cancer research, because cancer nearly got me. It took both my parents and it didn't get me. As you all know, I survived stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and now I want to do this to show everyone that anything is possible. Want to help out the family and help out the network? Drop a donation via Cash App to $Tallman Dr. K50. It not only helps me, not only helps the network, but it also helps my family. That's why we have that there. We got so much to get to in the next 120 minutes, and you will get the full 120 minutes. But right now, beg your pardon. Here's the whip around presented by Fanatics. Likely to be out 3 to 4 weeks. He'll be sidelined the remainder of the month because of his right hamstring strain. The Nuggets are taking a cautious approach to assure there will be no lingering issues with the hamstring, and there's an expectation that Murray will need 3 to 4 weeks to properly heal before returning to play. He was hurt in a victory over the Chicago Bulls on Saturday night. The point guard missed time near the end of training camp with a similar injury, but Nuggets coach Michael Malone indicated that Murray's recent hamstring strain came on a specific play during the Bulls game. Nuggets are 2-0 in Murray's absence, including a 108-105 win in Denver over the Golden State Warriors to improve to 8-1 on the season. To be the champs, you got to unseat the champs, and these champs are very deep. I love these Nuggets. I love how they've come together, and it's going to be a fun time watching them and, to a point, covering them, because I plan to do a few of their games as well as a few Warriors and Spurs games as well on my NBA coverage. More on that later. Embiid says the 76ers are on the right path after the test versus the Celtics. So after the Sixers escaped with a 106-103 victory over one of their oldest rivals to claim the top spot in the East, Embiid said, quote, "We got a long way to go, but we're on the right path." Embiid finished with 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals for Philadelphia, which has rattled off 6 straight wins after losing by a single point in Milwaukee 2 weeks ago to begin its season. Yeah. You're on the right path. Yeah. We've heard that before. What are you doing, April? Beal scored 13 in his season debut after his back injury. Next. Lakers point to injuries and no cohesion as their skid continues. Next. Underclassmen can compete in all-star games in 2024. According to reports, the NFL informed its teams Wednesday in a memo signaling the significant change to the pre-draft schedule for 2024. The All-Star games impacted by this decision will include the East-West Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl, and the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Previously, only seniors were allowed to compete at those events, though the Senior Bowl has allowed fourth-year juniors who completed their college degrees to compete in the event. This is going to be a major problem. I'll do a take on that later in the week. The Spurs go down in a heap in New York. They lost to the New York Knicks 126-105. Don't worry. They got a lot of growing to do, and they're going to do just that. That's the Whip Around presented by Fanatics. Coming up after the break, the Denver Broncos won, and we all picked the Bills on Friday. In the immortal words of legendary comedian Ron White, that's profiling, and profiling is wrong. Boy, were we wrong with that pick. Back in a minute.
everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved?
Cole Johnson, I hate you, but I love you for that. What the hell happened in Orchard Park, New York last night? Will Lutz hit a walk-off field goal as time expired to give the Denver Broncos a 24-22 win on Monday Night Football. First off, I must apologize for making a very foolish comparison. In the early stages of his career, in the early stages of his career, I compared Josh Allen to the legendary Jim Kelly. Once again, Ron White said it best. That's profiling, and profiling is wrong. Man, what the hell was I thinking? Sean McDermott is nowhere near Marv Levy, and Josh Allen is nowhere near Jim Kelly. I apologize to Bills Mafia for making that foolish, stupid comparison. And to think these Bills, defending division champions, I picked them to win the division walking away. Man, they're not even going to be close if they don't clean up their act. The Broncos have won 3 straight and 4 of 6 since they got blown to smithereens by Miami. And they're carrying momentum of a 24-9 victory over the defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs, which ended a 16-game skid against their rival. Russell Wilson said, quote, "We believe in each other. We believe in what we can do. To beat the Chiefs, to beat these guys, it sets a standard of who we should be, who we can be, and who we are going to be. Close quote. Russell Wilson.
We gotta pause that.
Keep winning and maybe I'll buy that statement. As far as the Buffalo Bills go, you need a new offensive coordinator because Ken Dorsey, former quarterback at the University of Miami, ain't cutting it. Again, they failed to score 26 points for the 6th straight game. It's Buffalo's worst stretch since Allen's rookie year in 2018. Sean McDermott said, quote, "I'm confident, but I believe we can be better at the same time." Close quote. Duh! Did you see your team last night? They didn't get the lead until late in the 4th quarter, and I'm talking about beyond the 2-minute warning. They were inside of 2 minutes, and they couldn't stop the Broncos? Really? The most inept team in the NFL? Well, they're not that inept right now. They're 4-5, and they've won 2 straight on the road. And again, this streak has happened after they got blown to smithereens by 50 points against the Miami Dolphins. And the play that gave the Broncos a second chance was a penalty against the Buffalo Bills for having 12 men on the field. This is after Wilson took a knee and the scramble drill commenced. It was a final play. There was the final play of the game. Denver had no timeouts. Buffalo had no timeouts. And if Buffalo had a timeout, they probably would have used it to get organized. Will Lutz misses the first attempt. Flags fly. Too many men on the field against Buffalo. He gets a second attempt from 36 yards and drills it as time expires. You let a team. I'm so disappointed in the Buffalo Bills. You let the Denver Broncos gain confidence on their season by coming into your house and walking off as time expires. You're not a playoff contender, Buffalo. Not at all. Not at all. And Sean McDermott, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for letting this game get away. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and Ken Dorsey too, for your offense not performing in the red zone like you need to. Only red zone score came in the 4th period to give you a short-lived lead. And when I say short-lived, I'm talking 100 seconds. You led this game for 99 seconds. Because the 100th second is when the ball sailed through the uprights against Will Lutz. And again, you don't have a running game. You have a running back in James Cook, but you don't use him. Fool. Wilson, 24 of 29, 193 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns, was sacked 4 times. Let's look at Josh Allen's stats. 15 of 26, 177 yards. He threw a touchdown plus 2 interceptions. James Cook carried the ball 12 times for 109 yards, including a 42-yard run. Well, it's about time you had a 100-yard rusher. You rushed for 192 yards and lost. You sacked Russell Wilson 4 times and lost. 2 interceptions will do that to you. Threw 2 interceptions. This is grounds for dismissal. You gained 369 yards, Buffalo. 177 yards through the air. You turned the ball over 4 times. 4 times. 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. That's not the Buffalo Bills that I know. And Joshua, I'm going to say 4 words that'll probably piss off Bills Mafia, but it needs to be said. Josh Allen is regressing right before our eyes. That offensive line is becoming more and more porous. That offensive line is just... That offensive line is a sieve. It's looking like the Bears off. Well, let me not compare that because Buffalo's actually won 5 games. But still, to compare this particular team to the K-Gun era, that was stupid of me to do so. That was absolutely stupid of me to do so. And Josh Allen, you're not good anymore. I won't even say anymore. You're not good. Now, granted, this is the first time in a while you weren't the leading rusher, and you only rushed 4 times for 13 yards and gained and got a touchdown. But you're not good anymore. You've regressed. And unless Ken Dorsey fixes the holes in that offense, you're going to continue to regress. You are going to continue to regress unless you continue to lean on James Cook, you continue to develop your running game, and y'all fix that offensive line and give Josh Allen a clean pocket. Did you see some of the reads that he's made, especially on those 2 interceptions? Come on now. Danny Fuller, every team has a slump this year, but to lose the way they did last night is unexcusable. You know what's unexcusable? The Buffalo Bills playing the way they're playing this year. This is not the mark of a defending division champion. This is not the mark of a team. Well, you know what? You know when this slump started? You want to call it a slump? Fine. I'll grant you a slump. But you know when it started? January. When they got socked in the mouth by the Cincinnati Bengals in their own house. Joe Cool 2.0 came into Buffalo and punched him in the mouth and kicked him in the ass. 27-10. That is when this slump started. Then, of course, you had all the to-do with Stephon Diggs, who couldn't make up his mind whether he loved or hated Josh Allen, and they still don't have a running game. I harp on this a lot, but it needs to be harped on. You're not going to go anywhere unless you have a consistent running game. Josh Allen, you're nowhere near Patrick Mahomes. Period. 7 starters on defense are out. Next man up. That's my response. Next man needs to step up. He also fumbled twice. Josh Allen. Man, this Buffalo Bills team is not a playoff team. I repeat, this Buffalo Bills team is not a playoff team. And unless they prove me wrong, they're going to miss the playoffs by at least 2 games. They're going to miss the playoffs by at least 2 games unless they get their act together. They need to basically run the table. Now, the only advantage they have is they have a win over Miami. And that came at Rich Stadium. I know it's called Highmark Stadium, but it's Rich Stadium as far as I'm concerned. I am so disappointed in the Buffalo Bills. I'm so disappointed in them. Let's pause for a timeout. I got to go get some water. And when y'all get back, the Playmaker was supposed to be here, but unfortunately, he has a bit of the stomach flu. So, Playmaker, want you to get well, buddy. But I will take his place and give the Jacksonville Jaguars and a few other teams a reality check. Back after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby!
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
After the hour, for those of you listening on WIRU-DB in Chicago, WQEE in Atlanta, as well as our flagship station, Snowman Multimedia Sports and Sportsnet and Snowman Multimedia Sports Radio. Decided to go ahead and create the sports network. Doggone it. I'm typing something and I said the wrong word. All right, let's go back to the Fanatics feedback zone. The Underrated Darkness chimes in. Good morning, Brother Snow and chat. Good morning to you, my friend. Danny Fuller is with us, and he said, facts, next man up. No doubt. Absolutely. He's not even Underrated Darkness says Allen is another Brett Favre, and he's not even that. At least Brett Favre won these kind of games where it was, you know what? Here's how I describe last night's game. The great quarterbacks, Montana, Marino, Elway, won those kind of games. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Yes, I mentioned Tom Brady. They won those bowling shoe ugly games. Josh Allen cannot. And I got a couple of reality checks to deliver. I have a couple of them to deliver. No, matter of fact, I have 3 of them to deliver. This is a reality check triple header. All right. The first one goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You definitely need one of these. In advance, I will apologize to my homie Joshua Jackson, who has been my friend of some 13 years. I can't find my phone. Anyway. Jacksonville, your team is not Super Bowl ready. Your team is not Super Bowl caliber. Because it seems to happen to a lot of teams this year. When you come up against a team that is a Super Bowl contender, you flounder. I mean, hell, you lost to the Houston Texans, who are coming on strong. Don't get it twisted. They're coming on very strong. I like this particular Texans team. You lost to them. But then there was Sunday when you had a chance to show off after the bye and show everybody, hey, don't sleep on the Jaguars. Yeah, right. You got punched in the mouth and you got kicked in the ass by my beloved San Francisco 49ers, who need a reality check of their own, and they delivered one. 34-3. What was that, Jacksonville? What was that? Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, you got Travis Etienne, you got Calvin Ridley, and nobody did no damn thing in that game. You got swarmed, you got surrounded, you got punched in the mouth in the first half, and then the knockout blow, Brock Purdy, with the pocket collapsing, delivers a perfect pass to George Kittle, and he did the rest. 66 yards. As Joe Davis said on the Fox broadcast, George Kittle, goodbye. And they walked all over you. I feel sorry for Jacksonville because they may suffer the same fate that the Tennessee Titans suffered. This punch in the mouth that they took on Sunday, and I might be wrong in saying this, but I will complete my thought. This punch in the mouth that they took from the 49ers on Sunday after we got our ass kicked by the Cincinnati Bengals just may signal the end of their season. And what I mean by the end of their season, no playoff berth, no division title, not a chance to regroup, reboot, nothing. In fact, I'll go ahead and call for it now and just pray that I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will happily come on this program and any other program I'm on and say that I'm wrong. So I'm saying this statement with the hopes of being wrong. Stick a fork in the Jaguars. They're done. That's one. Now, Mr. Josh Allen, you're next. I've been asking this question a lot lately, and with the help of Chris Bass, I will ask it again of Josh Allen.
What in the all types of blue hell
was that? As I said in the previous segment, this skid for the Buffalo Bills began in January when they lost at home to the Cincinnati Bengals, a team they should have walked all over, but they turned the ball over 4 times in that game. They turned the ball over 4 times last night, and all 4 turnovers are the result of Josh Allen. It's your fault, Josh Allen, that they lost. When you can't hold on to the football, when you don't take care of the football, when you don't take care of the football, you are doomed to failure. Okay? Let me say that again. As a quarterback, as a leader of the offense, hell, as a leader of the team, when you don't take care of the football, you and your team are doomed to failure. Period. You turned the ball over 4 times last night, Josh Allen. 4. 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. It's your fault, Josh Allen. You're regressing right before our eyes. And now you're making the pick that the Buffalo Bills spent on you look stupid. You can put up all the stats you want. The only stat that should matter is wins. And the only stat that should matter under that is wins under pressure. And last night, you were under pressure. You got your team the lead late in the game, and it looked like you were going to escape, but your defense let you down. And in turn, you let the team down with those 4 turnovers. You hold on to the ball those 4 times, stick it in the end zone. You prove that the Denver Broncos are a bunch of was-beens with Sean Payton and walk away. Instead, you gave them confidence. You gave them the ball 4 times. I don't want to call you a failure yet, Josh Allen, but you definitely have to clean some things up. And I'll say the same thing that I said about I'll say the same thing I said about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'll say it about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Unless you clean up the turnovers, and I could be totally wrong when I say this. I will happily say that I'm wrong when I say what I'm about to say next. Stick a fork in the Buffalo Bills. They're done. Now, I'm going to make my friend Victor Locke very angry. Justin Fields, you're next. Where do I even begin with Justin Fields? Where do I even begin with Justin Fields? I know where to begin. It goes like this. Justin Fields, you suck. You are not a good quarterback. You barely throw the football. All you have is your legs. Period. All you have is your legs. It led you to have 1,000-yard rushing season, which should frighten the daylights out of the Bears, first and foremost. Second of all, your lingering thumb injury, and I wish injury on no one. I don't wish injury on anybody. Your thumb injury is keeping you from proving yourself, though, as a side note, I hope you heal properly. The only way Justin Fields is going to succeed is if he gets traded. And the Bears are going to be too stupid to trade him because they feel they found the quarterback of the future. Yet they're clearly in the midst of the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. And Caleb Williams sucks ass too. So you're going to Bears, you're going to replace one sucky quarterback with another one? Really? Caleb Williams sucks. And so does Justin Fields. Although there's no offensive line in front of Fields. There's no running game for Fields to lean on. And you're depending on DJ Moore to be your number one receiver. You know, I was on Bitter Truth Show's YouTube channel. And he asked me if Justin Fields throws for 250 yards on average for the remainder of the season and average 3 touchdowns a game, will I give him the respect he deserves? No, I won't. And I will tell you 2 reasons why. First of all, Justin Fields, even when he does throw for 250 yards a game, hell, he threw for 300 yards against the Denver Broncos. What happened? Second reason, it's the Chicago Bears. Does that tell you anything? That's all I have to say. It's the Chicago Bears. That tell you anything? I don't trust Justin Fields. I don't like Justin Fields. And until he gets traded to a competent team, he will be nothing. Stick a fork in him. He's done. One more before we go to hour 2. And I am going to deliver this one on behalf of my team. It has to be said. 49er fans, take one of these. That bounce back win was great, wasn't it? I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do that one. Oh Lord, I had to do that one. Finally found my glasses. I had to do that one. I had to have fun with that. 55 after the hour. And why don't we go down memory lane for a few moments? Why don't we go down memory lane for a few moments? Because that 49ers show is now a post-game show. I may bring it back weekly. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. But speaking of the 49ers, and speaking of that clip I opened the show with, or came back from a break with, are we still them boys? This started it.
3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark!
That is the day, January 10th, 1982, I became a 49er fan forever. Forever. I mean, I was a fan all through that season. Don't get it twisted. I was a fan all through that season. But that play sealed it. And Vin Scully was on the call for that game. His last football game at CBS. He then concentrated on the Dodgers and then moved to NBC. While we're going down memory lane, Roger freaking Craig. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Give those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that. From 46 yards. That's going to be in a lot of highlights for a long time. What an effort by Roger Craig.
John Robinson was just saying yesterday, he thinks right now Roger Craig is the best running back in the league. I can see why. You know, he has that thing of getting those knees high and keeping the shoulders low. And he makes every team look like they're bad tacklers. Watch, the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then, at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler.
Pat Summerall and John Madden delivered the call. That was week 7, 1988. The first clip you saw, Vin Scully and the late Vin Scully. Now, I hate saying that. I miss you, Vin. And the late Hank Stram delivered that call. Both of those clips are courtesy of CBS Sports. And that is our trip. I'm going to do that. That's going to turn into a segment. I already know that's going to turn into a segment. Now that that's there. In fact, that gives me an idea. I'll have to execute it a little later. We're at halftime. Even though we played a short first half, want to be sure that that we stay on schedule. Coming up, second half of the show, Brian Damaris drops the mic with his truth about James Harden. Oh, I'm going to have fun with that. Second half of Snowman in the Morning continues after these.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Of starting over, James Harden is starting over. And the experiment begins again, this time with the Clippers.
I know I brought
James Harden,
my phone in here.
I don't know where it is. I'm going to read something I can't believe I'm going to read.
Wait a minute.
James Harden said that he sacrificed millions along with his playing style, which he said was on a leash during his stint with the Philadelphia 76ers. Harden said he tried to do what was needed to win in Philadelphia, but that the 76ers front office did not want him. Now with the Clippers, Harden is hopeful he can change some of the negative narratives surrounding him following his rocky exits from Brooklyn and Philadelphia and prove that he is still an elite star who can fit in with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook and win a championship.
Mold him!
Please. Again.
Mold him!
Here's my initial thoughts on James Harden.
Trays.
He's a six man at best, operating as a number one.
Now that I got that rolling.
He ruins offenses. His place is on the bench. Okay? He is not a star in this league, nor should he be hailed as one. He should not be hailed as a star in this league because all he does is dribble. He steps back 40 times. No one calls a travel on him, and then he gets a shot up. Really? He hasn't changed his game since he left OKC. And OKC saw the handwriting on the wall with James Harden. They said, screw you. We don't want you. Get out of here. Beat it. Then he forced his way out of Houston. He forced his way out of Brooklyn. And now he has forced his way out of Philadelphia. Why do these teams who think James Harden is a star keep capitulating to his demands? Why don't they make him capitulate to theirs? Did what he could to help Philadelphia win, to help Brooklyn win? Man, please. He didn't help Brooklyn. He didn't help Brooklyn nor Philadelphia, and for many reasons, he didn't help Houston. Now, I know a certain Rockets fan who will agree with me with that. Matter of fact, let me say this, and Daryl Morey, this is a shot at you too. Remember when Daryl Morey said that the year that James Harden, I think it was the 2018-2019 season, somebody look that up for me, please, where Harden averaged 37 plus points per game. And Daryl Morey said that James Harden is the greatest offensive player in NBA history?
Stop it. Get some help.
Who told this lie? James Harden, the greatest offensive player in NBA history?
Bitch, please.
Have you seen him play? Have you seen how he ruins offenses by holding the ball for 20 of the 24 seconds? Have you seen his footwork get worse and worse and worse? Have you seen the way his game has eroded? I said it, eroded. This game's eroded, man. Stop it. Michael.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's not going to work in Los Angeles. It's not going to work with Paul George. It's not going to work with Kawhi Leonard. It's definitely not going to work with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and James Harden in the same backcourt for the third time. If the first two times didn't teach you anything, what do you think it's going to teach you this time, with both players being older, both players being set in their ways, and both players wanting to dominate holding the ball? Really? And you're right, Ryan. Dear James Softon, change your game and grow the darn it, I didn't have the button ready. Let me try that again. Dear James Softon, change your game and grow the up. Okay? Who actually, give me this button. Who actually believes James Harden is a star in this league? Who actually believes James Harden gives a damn about playing basketball? Who actually believes James Harden gives a damn about playing basketball the right way? I'll echo something that Y said yesterday. It's the team's fault that keep believing that he is a good player and they keep paying him like he's a good player when he is God awful. Kawhi. Stop it. You know what the league needs to do, but they won't because they depend on James Harden to sell seats.
We got that settled. Back to business.
Lock the doors on him. Tell him, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. And I know that's a team decision. And I know the Clippers won't make that decision because there's money tied up in everything. Who's going to pay Harden, who's not going to pay Harden, and things like that. I get all that. But from a fundamental standpoint, he sucks. I'm one of the best players in the league. How's that song go again?
Why the you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my gosh, stop lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
Yeah. It's for you, Victor. If the experiment didn't work in Houston, what makes you think the experiment's going to work in Los Angeles? And the sub-experiment to that is James Harden and Russell Westbrook reunited together for a third time. OKC, Houston, and now with the Clippers. This makes my head hurt, and I'm a fan of neither team. To the point where I say this, and now a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled, Y'all Tripping. James Harden actually being a teammate.
You fool!
James Harden actually being a productive player.
You fool!
James Harden actually concerning himself about his team and the organization that he's with.
You fool! You fool!
Who told these lies? Who actually thought that? Who actually in Clipperland thought this? Who actually in Clipperland actually thought this? I can't believe this. I mean, stop, please. It's going to be because of James. My original statement was it would be because of James Harden and Joel Embiid that Philadelphia doesn't make the playoffs. Now it'll be because of James Harden, the lack of Kawhi Leonard, the lack of Paul George, and the lack of empathy from Russell Westbrook that keeps the Clippers out of the playoffs. Matter of fact, I say the Clippers finish under 500 in a stacked Western Conference, which has the world champion Denver Nuggets, which has the Golden State Warriors, which has a young set of San Antonio Spurs, which has the Utah Jazz, although they're faltering, which supposedly had the Phoenix Suns, not after what the hell I saw last night. Okay. Not after what the hell I saw last night. You gotta be kidding me. Ain't no way. Ain't no way this combination is going to work. It's not possible. It just ain't possible. James Harden is the Western Conference's version of LeBron James. Oops, did I say that? Did I say that aloud? I sure did. I said that aloud, and I will continue to say it aloud. In conclusion of this hot seat rendition, James Harden sucks. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with my good buddy and one of my best friends, Victor. Doggone it. I need to have this. I need to have this button handy. I need to have this button handy. In a conversation I had with I said I was going to talk about James Harden this morning, and Victor responded to me with, still want to know where he found that song. James Harden, you a in case you didn't hear me, I'll say it again, louder. James Harden, you a royal soft and you're going to cost the Clippers the same way you cost the Brooklyn Mess, the same way you cost the Oklahoma City Thunder, the same way you cost the Houston Rockets, the same way you cost the Philadelphia 76ers. You suck, James Harden. Period. And I hope that after this stint, which ain't gonna last long, that you never get another chance in the NBA ever again. Ever. Now get the hell out of here. In case you didn't realize, I was on one that morning, but happily I can say there's a part 2 to this, and we get an assist from the Dallas Mavericks. I'll explain when y'all get back.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition,
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Woo! As you can tell, I kind of let loose on that rant about James Harden. 20 after the hour, and the Deacon himself, DOD, the Deacon of Defense, has joined us. Smash the like button. Peace to you, my friend. And he also greets the underrated Danny Fuller back one more time, says Snowman facts, and he couples that with Flipper's chemistry as a joke. They will never hang a banner, and I hope they never do. I hope they never do unless ownership changes and unless coaching changes, because all you have right now are retreads. All the Clippers have right now are retreads. Now, there's a part 2 to the James Harden conversation, and Brian Damaris of the Dallas Mavericks lends a big assist.
Into the Clippers locker room. If I can talk to you, James, I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because, listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big 3. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with your guy, believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
Oh, and the mic drop, Devin.
Damn! Breaking news. Ken Dorsey has been fired. And I talked about that earlier in the day, that Ken Dorsey wasn't the answer as the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. So long, Ken Dorsey. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out of Rich Stadium. When you score less than 26 points for 6 straight games on a team that's known for scoring, back to the K-Gun era, out you go. Now, back to current situations. In case you missed that rant by Brian Damaris, television analyst for the Dallas Mavericks, here it is again.
Into the Clippers locker room so I can talk to you, James. I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because, listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You wanted to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night? They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with your guy, believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
Oh.
Bravo, Brian Damaris. Bravo. That's not only true for James Harden, that's true for a lot of players in this today NBA league. They're not, as he said about James Harden, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem. Just like a certain player in LA. You're not the king. Let me try that voice again. You're not the king. You're not the system, you're the problem. Kyrie Irving in Dallas. You're not Killer Kyrie. You're not the system. You're the problem. And watch, it's going to be a problem in Dallas before this season is out. Calling it now. Calling it now. Hey, if you like what you hear and you want to support the channel, hit that. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and shoot us a donation to the Cash App, $ Tallman Dr. K50. Helps me, helps my organization, and most importantly, helps my family. 27 after the hour, talking James Harden and other problems in the NBA that need to go. James Harden, you need to go. Okay? Matter of fact, let me do this the right way, because I began it last week with Victor Locke in tow. And I'm going to say it the short way, the way Brian Damaris said it. James Harden, not only are you the problem, you a period. Brian Damaris said it best. You're going to get out of Los Angeles in a year when you don't hoist the championship trophy, and you never will because of your style of play. You're going to keep swiping right like you're on Tinder or something. God help us all. And no one's going to be left to take a chance on you. Matter of fact, I hope before the season the Clippers cut your punk ass and leave you nowhere to go. Don't trade. Don't make a future trade. Cut him. Eat the money. You can spend it on draft picks and just cut him. Matter of fact, there's a few players I would cut from the league. Quite a few. But James Harden is the concentration on this segment. And Brian Damaris, beautiful. It didn't work in Oklahoma City because you were the sixth man and you felt that you could lead a team. Give me this, which is bullshit. You felt you could lead a team, so you prayed for Daryl Morey to take a chance on you. Daryl Morey stupidly took a chance on you. You brought in, you forced them to bring in Dwight Howard, who was just about out of the league, and then Damian Lillard gave you a shot in the gut and beat you in a playoff series. You had 4 shots, James Harden, against the Golden State Warriors. 2 of them came in the Western Conference Finals. You lost them both in horrific fashion. 2015, in the clinching game for the Warriors, you committed 15 turnovers. 2018, on Memorial Day, you led by 14 and you lost by 9. The reason you're a failure in the NBA, James Harden, is you. You haven't involved your game, you haven't evolved your game, and you've done nothing to improve. You held the reins as a point guard for the last 10 years, no matter which team you're on, and you f***ed it up every single doggone time. Every single time you messed it up. This is on you, James Harden. I quote the words of Brian Damaris. You're not the beard. You're not the system. You're the doggone problem. And you will always continue to be a problem unless you grow a set and acquiesce to your teammates. Some teammates on that Clippers team that could be better than you. Much better than you. There are so many players that are better than James Harden right now, it's not even funny. You went head-to-head with Steph Curry 4 times, and all 4 times Steph Curry whooped your ass. If you hadn't gotten traded, he'd still be whipping your ass. Matter of fact, the last time you played the Warriors in Houston on Christmas Day, you led them by 11, and they came back and kicked your ass by 12. Without Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson. How do you like them apples? You came back from a hamstring injury in 10 days, a grade 2 strain that should have taken you out of a playoff series against Milwaukee. That occurred when you were in Brooklyn. And then last year happened. 9 points in a 7th game. 9. And you're supposed to be the reason the Sixers got to the championship series? And then you bitched your way out of Philadelphia, as predicted, and you wind up in Los Angeles, and you're going to wind up bitching your way out of Los Angeles to go to another team. And I hope every team in the NBA slams the door in your face. You don't deserve to be in the NBA anymore. You don't deserve a shot to be the top guy, to be the point guard of any team, because you can't play the position correctly. You never will play the position correctly. And I'm heaping all this on a certain player tomorrow. So y'all watch out for that. But for right now, James Harden, you a bitch. You always will be a bitch. Forever and ever. Amen. College football talk is next, and then a Cupdom experience to close the show. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, back in the flash.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again. Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
5 after the hour, rolling along on hour 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Again, a shout to those of you listening on WIRU-DB in Chicago, WQEE in Atlanta. Also, those of you listening on WLEO 26.7 in Baltimore, KSHP in Las Vegas, and KSOS in Salem, Oregon. Also, those of you watching on BS3 TV and Zebo TV, Zebo based out of Reno, Nevada, and BS3 based out of Texas. All right, let's talk some college football, shall we? Down the stretch we come, and let's honor the Playmaker with an overreaction to this past week in college football. The Big Ten will get 2 playoff spots. That's the first one. As many are assuming that even though Michigan and Ohio State will play for their East Division championship, both will get a spot in the CFP. My reaction? Whoever wins that game wins the East and seals up their playoff spot, assuming they win the Big Ten championship. Both teams are assured to be 11-0 heading into their big match in Columbus. Jaden Daniels is this year's Caleb Williams. No. He's better than Caleb Williams, even with the numbers that Caleb Williams put up last year. And after what Jaden Daniels did last Saturday, he's better than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams sucks. They can breathe easy at SEC headquarters. The league champ is in. In other words, whoever wins the SEC title will get the spot in the college football playoff. That's not an overreaction. That's fact. And it'll go to Georgia. Oregon State, the last agent of chaos, the soon-to-be erstwhile Pac-12. It has given us one heck of a last ride. Washington and Oregon have the inside track to a rematch, with the winner likely to earn strong playoff consideration, if not an outright guarantee. 2 things. 1, whoever wins the Pac-12 championship will get a playoff spot. If it's Oregon, you can guarantee it. Hell, if it's Washington, you can guarantee it. But a lot of people are expecting Washington to fall before the end of the season, before the Pac-12 championship in Las Vegas, which should still be in Levi Stadium, but that's a Harbaugh play for another time. There couldn't be, something. I'll say this. There may not be 2 Big Ten teams in the college football playoff. There could be 2 Pac-10 teams in the college football playoff. Georgia may not defend their title. That's flat out bullshit. To be the champs, you got to beat the champs. And right now, last I checked, Georgia's the champs. I had a fight with Playmaker on his show, and he revealed the rankings. And I know all the factors that go into it. I just had to be playful with Playmaker. He and I have a lot of fun whenever we talk college football. You know, when the first rankings came out, when the first college football playoff rankings came out, they had Ohio State in the number 1 slot, and they had the Dogs in the number 2 slot. I said that was wrong. And Playmaker said, what? You don't see the quality wins that Ohio State has. Name them. Name them. Ohio State has beaten everybody they played this year. Georgia's beaten everybody they played the last 2 years. They're the defending 2-time national champions. And I know everything depends on a resume. God knows I know everything depends on a resume. But I'm old and I'm old school, damn it. And to me, it's pretty simple. If you beat Georgia, you have a chance to stake your claim as the national champion. But as I've said all spring and every day since then, to be the champs, you must unseat the champs. I don't see it happening. I do not see it happening. Let me say it again. For all you fans that want to see the Dogs go down and they won't, to be the champs, you must unseat the champs. And remember, they won their last 2 games without Brock Bowers. They won a game without Brock Bowers because Oscar Delp played his ass off in Jacksonville. And they blew out the Florida Gators 43-20. 43-20. I will say it again for those of you in the cheap seats at Old Sanford Stadium. To be the champs, you must unseat the champs. Woo! I'll keep saying it. It happened in the NBA, and I bow to the Denver Nuggets and he that is Nikola Jokic. I actually love the Nuggets. I love the Nuggets. This applies to them. This applies to the Chiefs. This applies to the Vegas Golden Knights. And this especially applies to the Georgia Bulldogs since we're talking college football. To be the champs, you must unseat the champs. Put Ohio State at the number 1 slot the first couple of weeks of the CFP? Nah, bruh. That's wrong. That's profiling. And profiling is wrong. Because you're actually saying by putting Ohio State above Georgia that Ohio State has a shot, which they do, to win the national championship. But I'm old school. And the best team in the land is in Athens, Georgia. I was about to say Sanford, Georgia. What the hell's wrong with me? Athens, Georgia houses the best team in the land. Period. And remember, Georgia beat Ohio State in the playoff last year in Atlanta. In a hell of a game that had 1,000 yards, and they won at the stroke of midnight. If Georgia and Ohio State hook up again, please let it be for the national championship, because I want to call that game. I want to call that game. The only thing that may stop me is it's on a Monday night in Houston, Texas, and I have to drive my daughter to work before the game's over. That's the only thing that'll stop me. But I want a chance to do those. I want a chance to do the playoff games. Speaking of games and speaking of Georgia, they go to Tennessee this Saturday. And I will have the call with our fan chat meeting at 3 p.m. presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. I'm looking around at my desk, and it's a mess. Let me just go ahead and say that aloud. It's a mess. When I come home from work today, I'm going to finally do what I had threatened to do only a couple of other weeks before. I'm going to blow the piss out of this office. But this is after I have to take care of my rabbits and take care of my kittens and my little dog and make sure my honey is okay and make sure my daughter's okay. So I'm going to do a lot of run around after I sign off here. But back to business. College Football Playoff Committee, listen to Snowman and listen to Snowman good. To be the champs, you must unseat the champs. And I don't see anybody unseating the Georgia Bulldogs. They will do what only Minnesota has done in the 30s. 3 consecutive national titles. No one's done it in college basketball since UCLA. No one's done it in college football since Minnesota. That will change this year. I predict that the Georgia Bulldogs will complete the triple play. They survived their biggest test against Missouri. They're going to deliver a hobnail boot to Tennessee. They're going to deliver a second hobnail boot to Georgia Tech. And then they're going to win the SEC championship. And even if they lose the SEC championship, they're guaranteed a spot in the playoff when they clinch the division this Saturday. I've been a dog fan since 1980. Herschel Walker, hello. Lindsey Scott, hello. I've been a dog fan since 1980. And I will show y'all the play that made me a Georgia fan forever. Let's go back to 1980, shall we? And I can't find the clip that I'm looking for. Dag nabbit. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So, for the second time today, we are going... Let me try that again. For the second time today, we are going to go... The year was 1980. The scene of the crime, the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The teams, the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs. Larry Munson, take it away.
Buck back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw on a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lindsey Scott 35-40. Lindsey Scott 45-50. 45-40. Run Lindsey. 25-20. 50. 10. 5. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott. We just got one. Incredible play. Lindsey Scott caught the ball around the 40. There were a couple of players that had an angle. He knew that he had to run as fast as he possibly could. Well, I can't believe it. 92 yards, and Lindsey really got in the foot race. I broke my chair. I came right through a chair, a metal steel chair with about a 5-inch cushion. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now. This is incredible. We might call time. We've only got a 5-point lead, and by the way, there's a minute and 3, and we got to give the ball back to those guys. I didn't mean to beg Lindsey to run, but I had to. 26-21. You know, this game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight and up at St. Simon's and Jekyll Island and all those places where all those dog people have got these condominiums for 4 days? Man, is there going to be some property destroyed tonight. 26-21. Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too. We were out of it and gone. Miracle.
Woo! Lindsey Scott, run Lindsey, run Lindsey. The late, great Larry Munson delivered the call for the Bulldogs Radio Network. The video courtesy of ABC, where Al Michaels had his own legendary call. We'll have that for you next time. That concludes this particular trip. I just may do that again to close the show. One more break, and then we're going to get on out of here. This is Snowman in the Morning, back in a flash.
Everything Boston. I love you, you morons. You kids from the block. New edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
And ever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're
Everything Boston. I love you, you morons. You kids from the block. New edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Because we take this job so serious.
Y'all know what? Hey, cool. You know how much I hate this out with a passion.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Coach Dante, love you, brother. You will see and hear him Thursday morning. A little bit of breaking news earlier in the show, in case you missed it. Dear Ken Dorsey,
you're fired.
I will say it again. Dear Ken Dorsey,
you're fired.
One more? Okay, one more. Dear Kenneth Dorsey,
you're fired.
He was fired as the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. Oh boy. It took me a little bit of extra time to find that clip. And Cole Johnson, thank you for that. but I'll do it again. Dear Ken Dorsey.
You're fired.
Why I love that so much, I don't know. I don't know, but I love it. Our executive producer is Cole John. Oh, more breaking news. AFL schedule released on Thursday. Nice. Very nice. Shady and I will talk about that and a lot more Friday morning. It'll be all about the Arena Football League. That's our conversation. To the Fanatics feedback zone we go. Danny Fuller says, Snowman, cool to be a hater on LBJ. I am as well, but he's had an amazing career and is great. No, he's not. He sucks. No, he's not. No, he is not. Period. He is not great. He's mediocre at best. I've said it his entire career, and I will continue to say it. Hell, he was mediocre in high school. But before I get too into it, I'll do all that tomorrow, and I'll do it on location. Harden received way too much attention today. Can't wait for the college football take. Well, you missed it. I already did it. And I basically said for the entire 10 minutes, to be the champs, you have to unseat the champs. And right now, Georgia's the champs until they're beaten. And I don't think they will be beaten. In fact, there will be history made in Houston, Texas, when I predict that the Georgia Bulldogs will win their third consecutive national title. This is the toughest title they'll win. Should they do it, this is the toughest one they'll win. Because in all modern college football fans' honesty, they had no business beating Alabama in Indianapolis, Indiana. They had no business beating Ohio State. Okay? They had no business beating Ohio State in a miraculous game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and I think it'll wind up being Ohio State and Georgia for the national championship. And they got no business getting this far. They should have lost to Missouri. They should have lost a couple of more times, but they just keep winning. Winners win. All right? And Georgia's a winner. Ohio State's a winner. Okay? Michigan, I ain't too sure about. Somehow, I think Michigan will fall, and when they fall, and if they fall, they'll fall out of the top four. You got Florida State's already in the top four. You got Oregon waiting in the wings. You got Washington waiting in the wings. One of those two will claim the spot should Michigan fall out of the top four. Shady Sports Network. It is believed that Chase Fourcade, former USFL quarterback, will join the Louisiana Voodoo, working under his uncle John Fourcade, an assistant coach with the Voodoo. And John Fourcade had one of the craziest plays in New Orleans Saints history. He threw an interception. The interceptor fumbled, and Fourcade picked it up and sprinted down the left sideline for a touchdown. I remember that play. I can't remember the defender involved, but I remember that play. God, I remember that play. Anyway, more AFL stuff tomorrow. And to close up shop today, and to make my good friend his head off, I will retell the story in this. Well, I got to do this. The date was November 2nd, 2016. The date was November 2nd, 2016. The World Series was going on at that time. And the Cubs and the Cleveland Indians, yes, the Cleveland Indians were playing in a
Game 7.
I don't know how the Cubs fought their way back from a 3-1 deficit to get it to a
Game 7.
But it happened. And I was scared for my life. Because if the Cubs won that game, there will be fireworks, there will be gunshots. And I lived in LaPorte, Indiana at the time. I'm way south of Chicago. Okay? In a corner that still would be considered Northwest Indiana, which it is. And I'm surrounded by Cub fans. Surrounded. I'm surrounded by Cub fans. And thank you to the folks at WIRU for listening today. We will check y'all tomorrow. And we'll be on time. Thank you, and thank you. Once again, those of you on WIRU-DB, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. But I lived in LaPorte, Indiana, south of Chicago, and I'm surrounded by Cub fans. Dear God, help me. And as I said, the Cubs and the Indians were playing in a
Game 7.
I don't know how this happened, but it happened. And I'm so hoping that the Indians win. And I hate the Cleveland Indians because they're in my division. That's the only reason I hate them as a fan. All right. Yeah. Then the last out happened. The curse was over. The Cubs won the World Championship. I just thank God I had a bunch of pizza. I had a bunch of beer. I had a lot more alcohol and a lot more food because I wasn't leaving my house. Then the fireworks rang out. Then the gunshots rang out in celebration. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Why me? I had so many fans contacting me the next day. God Almighty, help me. Everybody kept telling me the Cubs were going to win. And in a futile attempt, I kept saying,
Stop the cap.
Like I said, in a very futile attempt, I kept saying,
Stop the cap.
In response, they were saying to me,
You fool! You fool!
And then they coupled it with,
Got me up.
I couldn't believe they won. I could not believe they won. Then, like I said, like I told Cole when I originally told the story on the show, then the last out happened. Then the last out happened. Yikes. Even the police in LaPorte, Indiana was celebrating this ish. Oh, dear Lord. Even the police in LaPorte, Indiana was celebrating. Why? Just why? What the hell did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve that? What the hell did I do to deserve that? Then 4 years later, a couple years earlier, I beg your pardon, I was living with a Cub fan. I'm glad I wasn't at his place when they won. Golly, man. I will never, ever in life live with a Cub fan again. And I am so glad that my wife hates baseball. I'll never live with a Cub fan ever again. With all that done, we got to bid y'all adieu. Be back tomorrow. You know what tomorrow is. It's Bronze Sexual Wednesday. But thank you to everybody in the Fanatics Feedback Zone. A thank you to Shane Lake, our associate producer, Cole Johnson, our executive producer, Dr. K, the woman in charge of Snowman Multimedia and all the programs within. We say to y'all, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. We are out of here. God bless you. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.